Hello and welcome to Bud's RPG Review, where I give my thoughts on role-playing games, card games and board games. Today's retro review is 2008's Final Flight for Call of Cthulhu 6th edition by Pagan Publishing. Final Flight is a 32-page scenario published under license from Chaosium. There'll be spoilers from this point on, so stop reading if you want to play this. The scenario is set in the year of 1938, and it begins with the investigators boarding the doomed PCA Flight 101 from Curacao to Colombia. The adventure runs under the premise that the investigators are travelling to Colombia for some predetermined reason, a conference for example, but also under the premise that they don't know each other. They board the flight at their determined time, oblivious to the fact that there is a powerful serpent man sorcerer amongst the passengers. He is currently masquerading under a consume likeness spell as Marcial Marcos Dominguez, a physician. Marcial is a rogue who has fled from his cabal. His former colleagues have discovered his location and put machinations into place to dominate the pilot and crash the plane in order to return him. The flight is proceeding as normal and would normally take around 4 hours. Mid-flight, strange things start happening. The flight hits some bad weather, and over the radio the investigators hear a report that Flight 101, the flight they are on, has been reported missing and believed to have crashed in a remote part of Colombia. The stewardess is quick to reassure the passengers that they must be confused with another flight, PCA Flight 104, which is the same type of plane at DC-2. After 5 hours, observant investigators will spot flickering lights in the distance at ground level. Suddenly the landing gear lowers and Flight 101 is struck by lightning, and the lights go out. The engine then bursts into flame and the plane crashes into the Forest Canopy. What then follows is a section on the immediate aftermath of the crash. Some of the passengers have been killed in the crash, as well as the pilots, and some are badly injured. Also, due to the violence of the crash, the Serpent Man's consume likeness disguise has been dispelled, leaving observant investigators confronted with a monster. Unusually for his kind, the Serpent Man is willing to open a dialogue, as he understands the need to cooperate as he suspects what is afoot. He's very powerful, so smart investigators would have a deadly fight on their hands should they wish to take this course of action. We then have a section on what can be recovered from the wreckage, as well as who survives and what they can offer in the way of survival skills. Unfortunately for the investigators, they've crashed in a rainforest, which has its own set of challenges. There are venomous snakes, dangerous insects and tropical diseases. We then have some information on rainforest survival and what course of action the survivors should take. Upon exploration, the investigators find an airfield that has been crudely hacked out of the forest. This should arouse suspicion that something sinister is afoot. On the airfield are various other plane wrecks, as well as a semi-dismantled but fully functional plane that unfortunately doesn't have enough room for everyone. Smart investigators can remove things like seats, doors and cowling. We are given a table which gives a success chance of takeoff based on the amount of size characteristic that is on board. Further exploration will turn up a primitive village with a dozen huts. Unbeknownst to the investigators, a tribe of degenerate serpent men have a village of their own up high in the canopy, and they will attack intruders on sight, although a show of strength may deter them temporarily. Amongst the village they find some prisoners, including a heavily pregnant Brazilian woman called Morellis. The prisoners show signs of being experimented on, and their mere presence throws a spanner in the works when determining who should be aboard the escape flight. In order to escape, the survivors can either fly or hike out, or if they are feeling particularly brave, negotiate with the Serpent People. The Serpent People want Marcial, but even if the investigators manage to successfully hand him over, the Serpent People are unlikely to let the survivors escape. The scenario ends with some interesting points that the investigators may want to look into. The book finishes with stats for the NPCs, the Serpent People, and a useful calendar of 1938, as well as some recommended movies to help the keeper get the right kind of flavour for proceedings. In conclusion, this scenario has a few niggles that I feel I need to address. Firstly, the cover. If any of your gaming groups see the cover, it's a dead giveaway as to what's going to happen, so they may try and do things they wouldn't normally do. The second niggle I have is that while presented with a list of things that the survivors have to take into consideration in the rainforest, we have no game information or anything described. No lists of diseases and their effects, no poison tables for venomous insects or snakes, literally nothing to go with. Additionally, the scenario has the potential to be incredibly deadly, which made me question its suitability as an event that interrupts a pre-existing campaign. Some pre-gens would have been welcome here. With all that being said though, the scenario is fairly good. The premise is interesting, and the idea of putting investigators and indeed players out of their comfort zone is a good one. I think with the right keeper, this would make for a couple of entertaining nights of gaming. I give this 6 out of 10. If you enjoy this review, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to check out my other reviews. Bud out.